Okay. All right. So, hi everyone. Um, yeah. Happy Monday to you. Happy start to the wonderful week. Um, and it's going to be a week of freedom, and like not just a week of freedom, but your freedom going forth from here. I wanted to just come on to say hello and to talk of like when you know you're moving forward in something, and you know when you're moving in freedom, get used to it because your feet does not stumble and you don't fall. You were so used to being like held down and in um motionless because it was new for you. But when God gave you freedom, you better get up and like walk, get up and go. I was speaking to someone yesterday and today about one of the scenes from Lion King when the bird, I don't want to say the wrong name, was trapped in the dry bone cage. And I wonder if he knew that he could just, walk out of there, walk out of the bones and fly, but fly to not only get away from it, but if he actually had his mind changed, that he didn't have to be a victim and stay in them circumstances, that he could have been free just from his own thinking. And it got me to also, did he did it ever occur to him that instead of putting him as the victim, that he could have changed because they were actually the victims. Keep in mind, these lions didn't have no nourishment. So they couldn't even jump up to get him to, if he were to get out and just fly, because he could have been released. He could have been gone, but his own mind was so trapped in being a victim that he didn't even know he can get up and go. He can get up and fly. That he can get up and spread his wings and take off. And that brought me to where sometimes we will stay in a victim state because we are not used to being free. I know because I did it for myself. But to know now that I am beyond a free state, I thank God for it. And that you can be free too. All you have to do is trust and believe and know it. It's the know, like I said, it's the know. We walk in the know. We walk in the know, and that know is trust. Trust in God. He didn't create us to be victims, and He didn't create us to stay in torture and torment. And it starts with us. How do you view yourself? Peel back some layers within yourself to know that you are worth more, that you don't have to stay in the circumstances because you're so used to it, that you done been in this soul tie, because soul ties are more than just relationships with, if excuse me, if you're in a marriage or a relationship, they can be a soul tie of a friendship too, because you will be court and stayed down with the boo boo and the nay nay and the fifi, which are like these names, that you will stay loyal to a situation when a situation is just a situation and you need to go. Pick yourself out of just wanting to stay in a comfortable of a friendship, a relationship, because you don't want to be by yourself. It's okay to be by yourself. This way, when you're by yourself, you can literally know that there's more value to you, that you are a genuine person, a genuine soul, that you're not fitting in with somebody just so you can be liked, just so you can say you have a companion, just so you can say you have a road dog. I have a really good friend in a road dog now that I know won't never let me down, won't never turn their back. I'm in a relationship with someone who I can trust and love and courts me, and I court him back. And that's God. I thank you, Jesus. Do you know your worth? Do you know who you really are? It's a great thing when we peel back the layers of ourselves. Sometimes we will think that we have it all put together, that we are so beyond, that, I got it made, that we don't want to change and grow in some areas. And I know for myself, because I was like, oh, you know, you think you get to 18, you're grown, you can't wait to get out your parents' house because you just want to be grown. So then you turn 18 and you realize, wait, hold up, I want to be 21 so I could be a little bit more grown and have some things and everything. And then you turn 21, and then what do you have to look forward to at 21? Then you're like, okay, 25, and okay, I'm going to have life together at 25, and then after 25 it's 40. But let me tell you, if you don't be consistent and want to live every day and be productive in every day, what are you going to keep setting these milestones of when you turn a certain age to live? Why don't you live now? Why don't you grow now? Why don't you be consistent with your own life and stop wanting to pair it with somebody in order for you to live? You came in this world by yourself, and God knew that He equipped you with everything you need to know, and He's growing you, so you stay with Him. That's the person that you need to be with and grow with and mold yourself in. Stop wanting to fit in with people. Because I've learned, do you want to be used up, or do you want to be induced with a production of growth? Or do you want to be emptied out? And you got to be mindful, because sometimes you'll get so empty that you see that I'm so empty, I'll go empty someone else. That's a thinking that we cannot adopt and adapt to. I said it before on here, the sharpeners. Get yourself a sharpener and learn how to be a sharpener yourself. So you are continuously pouring into someone and someone is pouring into you. Like I say, and I say it in different ways, a mentor needs a mentor. Yeah. So just like the sharpener needs a pencil so that it can stay sharp and be what it is, you need one yourself. You need someone that can sharpen you, and you will sharpen someone else. And it's a continuous thing. So back to wanting to be free and knowing that you are free. It's a great thing. I normally kind of put a subject for like a month time. But I am not. I just know right now, and I'm speaking into growth. And I'm speaking into a foundation of God then stored you in Him. And what are you doing making sure you store Him in you? What are you doing? How are you building yourself up strong in Him? How are you staying consistent in Him? I be mindful of the company you keep. Be mindful of it. Stop going in places that you want to just be comfortable in. Go in the awkward places, the places that you feel like you may stand out in. You really don't stand out in them. People will come in and say, there's something different about you. Wow. I want this peace you have. And you got it by doing this. You are different. There's something different about you. And I tell people, to God be the glory, because if you knew me before, it was like I act a certain way depending on who I was with. However, now I'm consistent everywhere I am, and I thank God for that. Does some people get me? I don't know. Do I let my mind race if they get me or not? No. Because I get who I am, and I trust that God is opening me up more. I have been on some business ventures that literally like fell into my lap and opening me up to know that as much as I dreamed about being in business and working and doing things how I wanted to do them years ago, God has truly been opening me up in some ways of letting me know, who do you partner with? Like, who are you the CEO with? Who do you count on with? So I grow and explore in the opportunities of God. I seek Him. And He's been opening up ways that I can't even explain to you guys. And it's been a wonderful, great thing. So be willing to be open. Be willing to find out who you are. Be willing to stay in love with the process, because it is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but yet you will be open. You will be transformed. You will grow in ways beyond ways, beyond ways. And that's a wonderful thing. You do know that you flocking to go with people, and there's going to be people flocking to want what you have, but not, don't view it as what you have. They're going to want this piece that is so like, how did you get it? Wait, you got it this way? You turned your life over to Christ, and you just, like, what is that? And then you just explain it out and invite them to church. Buy them a Bible. Tell them, hey, let's do Bible study together. And if you're not strong in it, then you invite them to church again. And just send out the invite. Give them the address. Give them the time. And they'll come. Remember, we are vessels. God blows through us. He brings his people in. Sometimes all they want to know is, are they welcome? Are they included? Send out the invite and let them come in. They'll come to him. He wants them. He knows exactly what each and every one of us need and how to get to us. So we don't have to mold to them. They'll come into Christ, and Christ will change them. And you will be so, how can I put this? You will be so loving and caring by staying who you are, so that they see Christ in you all the time. And then people will say, you are so loving, you are so caring, you are so amazing, you are not who you once was. I had someone say that to me, and I love saying it now. To God be the glory. This is not me. I just showed up and did my part. I came to him and let him just do it. And I look back now, where it's like, it's been a 2-year period. However, looking back now at it, it seemed like it was overnight, because it surely doesn't feel like it's been that long, even though I know realistically it was that long. God does things in an appointed time. He grows you in ways when he knows you're ready to move on to the next. So it's where he is working in you continually, but then he opens up more of you when it's like, okay, you got this area, let me open you up to it. Now we're going to move on to the next part of you. And I love the fact that it's a continuous thing, that I'm always growing. Be ready to grow at all times. You're going to continue growing. It's like I had to say, I no longer want the facade of things. I don't want to seem like I have it all together and good and I'm fine, when it's like I'm really not. Like I was telling my girlfriend, I said the used car part, or the used car, where they have all the cars dressed up like they're nice and shiny and they're just so beautiful. You go on a lot and you look at these cars and you're like, oh, I want that one, that nice shiny one right there, until you drive it for a while, and then the realness of it comes out. I love the fact that even with me being, transforming God, all the things that I've done in life, he cleaned them parts up about me. He opened me up, so I no longer go on worry. I no longer go on panic. I no longer go on hostility, anger, bitterness, resentment. Those were parts that he literally had to clean out. And if I tell you that it was a nice process, I will be lying. So I'm going to tell you the truth. It wasn't. but it was revealing, and it was so worth it. I didn't let him, I didn't shortcut it. I made sure I had to go through everything and still willing to go through everything because I know that there's something more in me. So I believe truly that everything he's doing is for a greater good. And I love it. I love him for doing it, that he just never cast me away. Like, you're not never going to change. You can change no matter how deep and dark and everything that's going on. And you think that there's no more time for you. There's always time for God. Are you willing to do it? Be willing. It's a process that's so worth it. I love the fact that God doesn't have appointment time. He doesn't schedule you in for, oh, I have you for 9 o'clock. Whenever you go to him, he's right there. He picks up. He's there. He's always with you. I love that. The Holy Spirit is always with us. But you know what really happens, and I know for me, is when I started going into praising him, when I started lifting him up high, when I started telling him who he was and who I was in him, and everything he has done for me and everything he is doing for me, and how I just love him and how I just trust him and how I just honor him. It was in my praise. It was in my worship, my adoration for him. I started telling him all of who he was, and it was like he was holding it a mirror back up to let me know, you do know I love you, and I feel the same way about you. So I care for you. I love you. I honor who you are as my child. I trust you. You please me. All the things that I was saying to him, like, you please me, Father. I love you. And it was just so wonderful, that reflection of him I see in me, but I keep him right on his throne where he is, because only he could do this. Only he can make me see myself as a woman that I am. Only he can have you see who you are. And don't change it for no one. It's the battle sometimes of our minds, that we want to, fit a mold that's not even a mold. If you really look at it, it's just shallow, empty grave. There's a shallowness in it. Don't want empty, like I say, empty food, empty calories. You're willing to go with the fast food process of things. There's no fulfillment in it. You know a good meal is coming when it's a long wait. You know when it goes to cooking one of the biggest holidays for all of us, Thanksgiving, right? You know the real deepness of it. You start preparing for it in like November, early November. Then you start getting that cornbread, and you start baking it days before you about to make the stuffing, so that it can have that heart and that crunchness to it. Go through the process of that full good meal, that full good meal. And yeah, I said it like that because I'm repeating how somebody says it. But yeah, so let me say it right so you get it, because I get it, but you won't get it. But that full good meal. So go through the process of God showing you who you are, showing you your strength, showing you your love, showing you his grace, showing you that you can partner well with him, that he can utilize him, that he can utilize you, and you can utilize him. It's a process, but I'm telling you, it's a process worth having. So I love you guys, because I have 2 more things to do. But I wanted to come on. I usually, do the questions and answers, but I didn't let nobody know about it, because I'm changing the format up. I'm just going to be Audrey Lane. I'm just going to be Audrey Lane. And I don't have to worry about a time frame. I'm just going to be who I am and trust the process of how God is doing everything. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Be ready to be, it's a developing process. It takes time for you to come out and everything's going to come to full picture. And it's so beautiful because you are such a work of art. You are such a work of art. And people are watching. And not for you to lose focus of it, but people are watching so they can see, wow, they went through this process and they got there. Let me go through my process that I gotta go through. So I love you. Have a good evening. Bye now.